Don't touch it. It's hot. It's hot.
We're Clover. We're live, Kim. We're live, Webster.
You can see us over here?
No, they can see me and Clover. I think that a lot of people, we were saying that a lot of people don't want to have intellectual conversation because they have more important things going on. And maybe it's not, I mean, maybe there's a lot of important things going on, but you can do a recording like this while important things are going on. And there's a fear that, oh, you have to do it a certain way. You see yourself? There's an idea that you have to do this a certain way, that, oh, you need a sound room or you need something special. And really, I mean, why do you have to do it with your family somewhere else? You need a microphone and a camera and a laptop, the internet. And I think people would actually like to hear the family in the background. And if they don't, so what? So yeah, we did our walk this morning, and Kim really likes the walks. I enjoyed it. When we do walks or when we go on trips, couples walk, we get to talk, and there's not really any distractions, and it's good. And I crave, an intellectual conversation, and we got to have some intellectual conversation this morning. So I brought up, the things that I've been reading in the news, or the latest thing. And the latest thing was Jordan Peterson had shared an article written by a psychology professor who helped him get into the University of Toronto. And this college professor regrets his decision to help. And it was a good article because I think the guy brought up some good points, and it would be interesting to have those two do a recorded conversation. Hey, baby. So I liked it. I tweeted at Jordan Peterson, said, good read, good friend. I would love to see you guys work this out, because honestly, I mean, whenever you become a celebrity, you need friends who are going to humble you and keep you in reality. And it seems like this guy might be a good friend for Jordan Peterson, because, he said a few things I've been thinking is that, capitalism has incentivized Jordan Peterson to talk about certain things and to get people to respond a certain way, maybe with fear or whatever. And his profession, his experience, Jordan Peterson's experience, gives him some insight into how people's minds work. And so maybe the money incentive is causing Jordan to do and say things that are driven by that incentive, and he may be ignoring things that maybe aren't incentivized by money. I think that's an interesting thing to talk about. But Kim ended up bringing up the point that there's a lot of people who are just motivated by feelings. I asked the question, I said, what are these humanities for, the studies in the humanities departments? Like, why couldn't I teach humanities? And I said, well, maybe there's just the people who go into humanities they don't have very good analytical mind. And if they had a good analytical mind, maybe they would have been an engineer or something, science, technology, engineering, math. So you have people with not very good analytical minds in these fields, perhaps. And then, so on top of that, there are humans have feelings, and they want to feel, and maybe they've been taught to feel like they are equals, that we're all equal to each other. And that's not actually the truth. I mean, I'm not the same person I was a year ago. We're not even the same people from day to day. We aren't equal. We aren't equal to past, present, and future versions of ourselves. And we're not equal to each other. We're all unique and valuable with lots of potential. But there's this thing called a Dunning-Kruger effect. I could pull it up, but essentially it's like the people who lack capability tend to be the ones who have the delusion that they actually are really good at whatever that capability is. And I think analytical skill, is something interesting to consider with regard to the Dunning-Kruger effect. And so you have loud people who don't have very good analytical skills saying things because they believe they are equal to everyone else, and they're not. And then you have people who have very good analytical skills who aren't saying anything because maybe they have been influenced by this rhetoric that we are all equal. So even though they disagree with the dumb people, the ones who have lesser skill at analytical thinking, let's just call them dumb people. They don't want to correct dumb people. They don't want to engage with dumb people, and they got more important things to do. But I would suggest that maybe that's then the problem with a lot of societies is that dumb people have too much influence.
That's Webster's.
And it's not like you want to take away the rights of dumb people, but smart people have to have the courage to speak up. I think smart people could get together, organize, and have good conversations. And that's all. And I feel like there's just too many smart people who have good analytical skills that are avoiding intellectual conversation. And that's really what I'm craving. So that's why I made this video. I called it the middle way just because I feel like with any idea, there are extremes. And so, for example, I was thinking about Memorial Day. And so there's an extreme position that we shouldn't celebrate Memorial Day, that maybe these people, we shouldn't really remember them, and maybe they're not worthy. That's an extreme position. And there's an opposite extreme position that everyone who falls into some category deserves to be remembered. And that's the opposite extreme position. And so I'm kind of suggesting the middle way is ideal, that there are servants. There are people who served, good people who served, and they should be remembered. And, but that doesn't mean that, for example, that everyone who was in the military was a good servant. And so that's kind of the middle way. And another way to consider it is that there are many people who never went into the military who are good servants. And so, that's the middle way. And so perhaps with every idea, there is a middle way. And the problem with the middle way is that, to go back to Jordan Peterson and his being motivated by that monetary incentive within a capitalist society, is that when you take on the middle position, you're going to you can upset people on the left and the right. And just pay attention and you'll find reasonable people in the middle that when they speak up, they will make people on the left and the right upset. People on opposite ends of a spectrum, with extreme differences. And maybe it's not just polar. Maybe it's not binary. Maybe there's more than one. Maybe there's more than two positions, right? But somewhere in the middle, you can always play that devil's advocate. I like that. I like playing the devil's advocate no matter what position you want to take. And I think those kinds of conversations are important. Like, if people paid more attention to intellectual conversations where someone trying to ride the middle, be in the middle between, opposites, they can bring about more wisdom and understanding into society. And, the internet allows for that to happen. It's just that people have to, whoa, I bet that's loud. Webster, what did you cook?
We cooked what?
What did you cook?
We cooked eggs. We're making egg sandwiches.
Egg sandwiches. I'm going to have a bite of egg sandwich before we go jog. Do you want to go jogging with me? Yeah. And then we're going to go You're going to go cheer me on at the Cotton Row Run on Monday for Memorial Day, where we remember those who served.
You want to drive, Daddy? You want to drive, Daddy?
Yeah, you're going to go jogging with Daddy. We'll do some swinging when we get back. We bought a cool gym and Webster likes it.
Okay.
All right. Do you know the name of that gym?
I can look it up.
All right, it doesn't matter. We can talk about it again some other time. All righty. The thing I'll leave you with is the difference between Jordan Peterson and his mentor that helped him get into Toronto is that they have different definitions of truth. And so when you talk about truth and lies and deception, you really have to understand each person's definition of truth. And so Jordan Peterson's definition of true has something to do with the saying, his aim was true, or her aim was true. Whereas people like Sam Harris, materialists, they tend to be more logical, and they say things are true logically. And so logically true is different than your aim is true. And so you have to understand people's definitions of those words. And it's very hard. If you're in one of those paradigms where you hold one of those definitions, it's very hard to switch your perspective. And so that's really where a lot of disagreement stems from, is the different meaning of words axiomatically, at the very beginning of any type of conversation. All right. Say bye-bye. You like the keyboard? All right, I'm coming, Webb.
Daddy!
I'm coming.